Betty, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone!
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
No one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle.
You can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Lord, you can imagine where it goes from here.
And welcome back to the Zedos Game podcast after a long hiatus. It's been a while, but things have happened, diseases and whatnot. Welcome back to the fold, Sash. Glad to see you're up and at 'em. How are you doing, Sash?
I'm breathing. I'm all good. Not corona. Asthma. It's bad. Apparently, every pharmacists are out of Bricanol. If you suffer from asthma and you want some Bricanol, go hunt it down. Go do it now. I don't care if you've got full stock. Just get it. You're going to need it. There's a problem with the suppliers. So stock up on this bad boy. Get your doctors prescribed and make sure you're breathing. Plug over. Anyway.
You heard it here last, folks. It's been a while. We're going to go straight into it. And that's the first topic. What's the first topic, Serge?
Bad boys. What were you going to do? What you going to do when we come for you?
Apparently it has a new theme now. Good Men.
Good Men. Yes. Good Men.
Who wants to hear that song? You saw it. So this is referring to Bad Boys 3, which came out at the beginning of the year, which is usually a dumping ground for films. But I think that was a good tactical move on Sony's part. I enjoyed it immensely. I thought it was as good as the others. It mixed in nicely. I can't remember the two directors' names, but the Belgian.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah. That was a little bit look-see. And I went in. The trailers looked Bad Boys to me. So I thought, okay, if this is going to be anything, I'm going to enjoy my time with these guys. Yeah. And I got more than that, and I was surprised. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. And so, that proves in the box office as well. It passed 400 million like last month or something, and no one expected it to do that. So that's I think it's the highest grossing out of the Bad Boys now.
Wicked. It deserves to be. It was genuinely that good. Adele El Arbi and Bilal Fallah. They're the two directors.
Yeah.
It was amazing, man. It was a good, fun time at the theatre, which is exactly what you want Bad Boys to be. Mm-hmm. And also, for a cop thriller, it had some genuine twists that you just did not see coming.
Yeah, definitely.
Like really big twists, man.
Yeah.
And some cool cameos.
Yeah.
One cool cameo. A passing of the whip, so to speak, and that's all I'm going to say. But I really, really enjoyed it. I liked the tone, and you know what? The only way you could tell that it wasn't a Michael Bay movie was in terms of the color scheme and the grading. But you know what? That was probably a good call because it kind of made the film its own kind of thing.
I don't know. I hear what you mean. I don't know. Yeah. I thought it looked the same to me. But
no. In terms of the cinematography, that matched perfectly because they tried to emulate the first two films and make it sit within that world. But they used a different color scheme to what Michael Bay would genuinely use in his films. So, but that's not a dig at the film. If anything, it gave the film a unique kind of quality to it, and I just thought these guys knocked it out of the park, man. I want a fourth one like now. So
well, we won't get that anytime soon. Considering
maybe
what's going
in the next 20 years.
No, I mean, this is it's made a lot of money. So I'm guessing once this whole situation's over, I'm sure talks of talks of a sequel did start already. I mean, it leaves itself open for a sequel. Yeah. Just considering what happens at the end, there's a post-credit scene. Will Smith needed this. Well, not really, but he needed the reinforcement after a couple of unsuccessful adventures.
I mean, there was a time where Will Smith was neck to neck with Tom Cruise. Like, there wasn't a Will Smith film that flopped. And that, I'd say the last one that I remember where I couldn't think of a time where a film had flopped was Hancock, because that was a hit.
Yeah, it was. It was a hit.
Hancock, anything pre-Hancock, hit.
Yeah.
Anything post-Hancock, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the sign of the times, man. As a lot of these film journalists say, that it's not a world where the actor is the big draw. Right. It's the theme of the film, or it's more about the film than it is the actor now. I mean, Tom Cruise can still enforce that to agree, only if he's in Mission Impossible or something like a big...
Actually, you know what? Sorry to cut you there. Because Men in Black 3 was a hit.
Okay, yeah, it was, yeah.
After Hancock. Pre-Hancock, he was on a high. Men in Black 3 was his last super hit. Then, do you know what came after that?
No.
After Earth.
Oh, right. That's when he started working with M. Night.
After Earth. Focus, that was mediocre.
Never saw that.
Concussion, that didn't set the world on fire.
Oh, no, that's more American than anything.
Yeah.
I couldn't see that doing anything more than it did.
Yeah. Then you had Suicide Squad, which was a hit. Then Collateral Beauty.
What's Collateral Beauty? I never heard of that.
I never saw it, but yeah. And then Bright, which was a hit on Netflix.
How do you know it was a hit?
Well, they talked about sequel, and they're still talking about sequel.
Yeah, but Netflix don't release their
only
their
lately they have.
Yeah, but I think Netflix would have done it regardless if it was a hit or not. It has Will Smith in it.
Yeah. And then after that, not a lot else really. Gemini Man,
which wasn't a hit.
Yeah, it wasn't a hit. But then Aladdin was a hit.
Yeah.
Like his biggest hit. And be quite honest, like, that movie was bad, but you know what? He was good. Right. He was actually good. Everyone thought he'd be the worst thing about that movie. Not at all. He made that film entertaining. All the entertaining bits, Will Smith owned. Everything else made that film bad. The casting of the leads.
Really? That's not what I hear, man. A lot of people like those leads.
Well, Aladdin couldn't act. Okay, he could sing. Mm-hmm. He sounded like Aladdin. They got a mimic, but he couldn't act.
How do you know? Have you seen him in anything else?
No. She was okay, but like there was no chemistry. And on top of that, where the fuck did they find that guy that played Jafar, man? Pretty Boys R Us.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't know who the actor was, but he had no presence.
Who's
no presence there?
Right. Who's the girl you're talking about?
Huh?
Who's the? You're talking about Jasmine, the female plays Jasmine.
She's been in stuff, but
she was just in Charlie's Angels, wasn't she?
Probably. I don't know. She was okay, but yeah, the guy that was Jafar was the standout. Like Aladdin was wooden, but he wasn't as miscast so badly as Jafar, man.
Oh, so Naomi Scott was Jasmine. Mina Masood,
yeah.
Masood was Aladdin.
there was a whole thing about, he hasn't been cast since Aladdin. I'll tell you why he hasn't been cast. It's not a race thing. Man cannot act, period. I'm saying it right now, okay? The guy just couldn't act, man. Couldn't act.
He's from Egypt, he's Egyptian, Canadian.
Yeah, guy can act. Can't act. I'm Asian, I can say it.
Well, he's not.
Oh, okay. Well,
he's African.
You know, for those that don't know,
he's in Reprisal, Strange but True.
I just remember there was a whole thing. They were bringing the race card in, like how you know how he's been misdone. It's like no, he wasn't. He couldn't act. He couldn't act.
I didn't hear any of that, but
yeah, there was a big thing, man. You missed it.
I clearly didn't. It clearly wasn't as a bigger news story
true.
For us as it was for him. I mean, he's just come off Aladdin. I think he'll be fine for now. So you weren't pleased with his acting? his acting jobs was not good.
Man. He sucked. But you know who sucked more? Jafar. I don't know if it was a case of miscasting there. But that guy did not have the gravitas at all to play that role. I was just like, wow, okay, cool. They picked a pretty boy for Jafar. Why? Because it's a love triangle. Made no sense, man.
A love triangle with Jasmine?
Well, it was in the original film. Jafar
really?
Was 5. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was a creepy old man, right?
I've not seen the Aladdin, the film.
The original?
No.
With Robin Williams?
No.
You've never seen Aladdin?
No. I've only seen the cartoon TV series.
But you've never seen...
Aladdin? No.
Wow. There we have it, folks. Joe, if there's any Disney film, if you had to watch one, for me, it's Aladdin. Okay, you need to watch Aladdin.
I don't know.
You'd like it just for Robin Williams alone.
I mean, I've seen enough of it to know that I like Robin Williams in it. So, but I've not seen the whole thing in its entirety. I don't know what happens at the end. All I know is that from the cartoon series, there's a lot of. I think they've. It ignores a few things.
Does it? I don't know. I never really watched the. I did see it, but I can't remember it as much. I just remember the movie.
Yeah. I used to watch it on Sunday mornings. It used to come on before Jason the Real Warriors or after.
Okay.
So it was like part of my Sunday morning ritual.
So you watched the TV show?
Yeah.
You never once thought, "Hey, I should watch that movie."
I didn't rent films, man. I never rented films. We're quite a poor bunch of people. Renting films was a luxury that I wasn't able to afford, unfortunately. But
my video rentalist couldn't get enough of me, man. He had a copy of Ghostbusters 2, which is a true story. Ghostbusters 2 was like the most rented film I think I've ever rented.
Right.
Ever in my life, because back in those days you had to rent a film like a full. It came out to rent a full year after it come out on release, and then another full year for it to come out to buy. So that whole year, I'd just be renting Ghostbusters 2 all the time. I may as well have owned the damn copy. Seriously.
Yeah, I did. The only time I ever was in that arena for renting stuff is when I was with one of my mates. I used to go around to his house after in the summer. We used to rent out Jackie Chan films, kung fu movies, and animation. So how I saw Transformers the movie.
So you never used to go Blockbusters on a Friday night and rent a film?
No, I was home by myself most of the time, or I was with my cousin.
I feel like you've missed something, man. I used to do that all the time.
Yeah, again, I didn't have the opportunity to do that, unfortunately. It just wasn't something. Again, when I was with my cousin, Would watch something with him or with my friends. I would watch something with them.
I guess when I think of Blockbuster times was when I was like a little bit older, like in my teens.
Right.
Because like we used to go to like my local video rental shop, but then Blockbusters in Harrow had like because it was Blockbusters, it had like the biggest selection and stuff. So because I was in Harrow all the time, I just like started renting from there kind of thing. And it just became a culture of like Friday night, go Blockbusters, get some food, go home, invite some people around.
Right. Yeah.
Midnight gathering kind of thing, watch a horror movie, blah, blah. It was a thing, man. It was like a proper Friday night ritual kind of thing. And we'd be around other people's houses and stuff. It was cool. But yeah, man, that's an old era, man. Like no one will understand. I guess it was cool if you were a movie buff because you could generally meet people that were into movies and like and stuff. It's just such a lost kind of thing now, completely.
I guess I mean to people that used to rent stuff, I don't really rent anything. It's a culture that moved past me. Even now,
you know what made me stop doing all of that anyway? Like doing that on Friday nights.
What's that?
Working at View Cinema. Yeah, I can name them now. Before I never used to. I used to work for View Cinemas. On
Warner Brothers. For me, it will always be Warner Brothers.
Well, I started with Warner Brothers, and then I just never left that building. So.
Well,
its third transformation.
I'm not giving that corporation its due in any way. I worked for Warner Brothers.
I don't give a fuck now. I can name and shame now. So yeah, but like, but yeah, no, yeah, good times there.
Yeah.
But in terms of like that, around the time when I probably would have done that more, when I started working in cinema, that's really when that all disappeared for me, personally, if that makes sense. And then it just disappeared anyway from its own demise, but because I don't even think it was a thing in the 2000s, really, was it?
It was up until 2008.
Really?
Yeah. See, there's still a Blockbuster open in Alaska.
Right, okay.
I mean, after this, I don't think it will be. But yeah, the last block, I think it was Alaska. The last Blockbuster video was in.
Oh yeah, that's right. There is one in Alaska. I remember seeing a thing on that. We've totally like taken a fucking adjacent, but
no, it's good. It's like an open conversation. Don't worry about it, man. We'll get back into it. Yeah. So what we talking about?
You know what? What is your fondest? You know what? Fuck it. We're talking cinema. What is your fondest? I'm not going to badmouth them. I'm not going to.
Badmouth who?
The cinema chain I worked at.
Right.
But because you know what? I've got too many happy memories there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have bad ones as well, but the good outweighs the bad sometimes. So
yeah.
But that's just for me personally. And like, what was it for you? What would you say was like the best times there?
When Warner Brothers are in the building.
No, but well, you never worked for that corporation, so like ever. So, what was your fondest memories of working at Warner Brothers?
I guess the late night showings on the Thursdays, putting the posters up and getting to see a movie with a bunch of friends that you invited. That was really cool. I enjoyed those nights, and they were
the best nights, man. They were the best nights.
Yeah,
I mean, like, do you remember the Blair Witch Project too?
Just about. I remember it being very disappointing, but becoming very funny.
Yeah, most shit films were that. It's like if a film was dog shit, you just start talking and having your own jokes. I miss Syed because Syed would be the key instigator of it, man.
Yeah. I remember watching Dog Soldiers, and that's a good movie. Yeah, it is a good movie, but it was that good that everyone was commenting about it, and it was like that screen was just a commentary of oh my god, did you see that? There was a lot going on that showing from what I remember. And the one showing I remember was watching The Matrix for the first time. That's when Paddy was there, and gosh, I can't remember, Mr. Bailey. No, Mr. Bailey had left by then. There's a whole bunch of people there whose names I can't even remember now. But I remember watching The Matrix and being amazed by it. Just like, wow, I've not seen anything like this before. This is a game changer. Yeah. And I'm so happy that I was around to experience that at that particular time, because that's that in a nutshell. And Star Wars Episode 1, that was amazing as well. I'd never seen cues like that in my life for anything. Even though the film didn't live up to people's expectations, that film was that was my foray into, wow, Star Wars is a big deal. Yeah. Big deal. And
you remember the guy that fucking came for Episode 2 dressed as a Jedi on opening day, and he tried to fucking throw a tantrum at the tickets office, and I was there, and then he fucking hit the glass with a lightsaber?
I don't remember that. I remember a lot happening with all the Star Wars films. There was a lot of issues with people when it came to Star Wars when it opened. But I don't remember that particular incident. I never used to go around to the box office in that degree, that at that point at the time.
Except to play with Game Boy, Joe.
I used to do that in the locker room. Used to play Advance Wars.
I remember a time we were playing 2-player on link cable on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, it's Advance Wars.
Yeah. But you were scooched down.
Yeah, so no one could see me. So the camera couldn't see me.
You were scooched down in the box office. And I was in box 7. We were playing Advance Wars. And then I can't remember which manager or which super. Like, have you seen Joe? I was like, no, I haven't seen him. And you were scooched down playing Advance Wars on link cable. Oh shit! And I'm just there. I'm just there. And they're looking at me like, "You're not playing your Game Boy, are you?" Oh man. Get away with that shit now, trust me. But,
yeah, I'm sure you couldn't. But
back in those days, wow.
I mean, there's vastly more staff there than in the newer school days. I remember it being like college. There's people I never.
Still is.
I know, not the amount of people that in its heyday. There was loads of people there. There was loads of people that worked there. They're like people that worked on Thursdays or Fridays that you'd never see or never meet because they worked a different shift out from you. That's how many people used to work at that place. And
I became that guy there eventually. I was like the 4-hour guy.
Yeah. There's a few people that had those small contracts. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, that's a cinema history of Warner Brothers.
That's a cinema gem of the week. I'm going to segue a lot of that
in. So yeah, back onto the news. What are we talking about?
National Treasure 3.
National Treasure 3. Yeah. So I would love to see Nicolas Cage do that again.
Yeah, it was a good film. Chris Chilstrek. I can't pronounce his surname, but he is that's somebody else. Chris Bremer is tapped to write the script. He wrote that. He's one of the writers on the Bad Boys for Life script. He's at the moment he's penning the thing for Jerry Bruckheimer for Nicolas Cage to return. Disney are very interested in another one. Yeah, I'm interested in another one because we get Raging Cajun Cage on the big screen rather than straight to DVD and stuff. Yeah. But you know what? You know what? I don't care. I actually think Nick Cage has been doing his best shit now, and no one's noticed. Not a lot. Some people are savvy to it, but a lot of people have not noticed, man.
Because he's doing the films that he wants to do. It matches his he's doing what he wants to do. I saw Mandy not too long ago.
What did you think?
I liked it. Chris hated it.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't dig it, but it was interesting.
It's so trippy. It's the trippiest film I've ever seen in my life.
But you know what? That director did another film. Oh God, I got to find the title of the film because I saw the trailer. I was like, whoa. Okay, I need to see it.
The Void.
What was it called? Mandy.
The Void.
No. Mandy. He's got a new one now, I think.
Right.
Panos Cosmatos is the director.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, his first feature before Mandy was called Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Wow. Okay.
You should check that trailer out.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah, just check that trailer out. It's messed. It's completely messed.
I mean, he's got the he's got like a flair for like 80s type of horror, but with a new aesthetic. I really like it. I really do like it.
Yeah. What was I going to say? So yeah. National Treasure. I love both those films. First one more than the second one, but the second one had its moments. They were just fun, man.
I mean, the
modern day Indiana Jones kind of thing.
Yeah. It's kind of emulating Indiana Jones without being Indiana Jones in that.
It had its own kind of flavour to it, and man, I'd quite like to see more. And I thought Jon Voight was always funny in it as a dad, and yeah.
Jon Voight's an interesting actor, man. He's when he showed up in 24, I thought that was probably one of 24's best villains. Because he has no resolve, man. He's ruthless. So when he even plays a good guy, it really throws me off. it's very misleading. No, not misleading. He's just a good actor. So when did they plan to start filming that? If they plan to start filming that, if and when? Sorry.
I think it's just in development. They've only just announced it. There's no lock date, so. Hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later. So, yeah.
Good stuff, man. I can't wait for it.
You know what? I really hope... I was thinking about this the other day. I was really hoping that Nicolas Cage would team up with Francis Ford Coppola for Megatropolis, man. But, yeah.
Okay, here's another question for you. How would you rate Francis Ford Coppola as a director?
I would say he's one of the greats that kind of fell off the slope. When I say that, he makes competent movies. Okay, even when they're not great, he'll make a competent picture.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell when he's doing it for the money to when he's doing it for the love. If that makes sense.
What film has he done for the money?
Jack. Robin Williams, Jack.
Did he make that?
Yeah, he made that.
Damn.
It was hard times. Whatever he did before was a flop. So he was cornered into Jack. And as much, you know what? Everyone knew this back then when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I even knew it when I watched it. I was like, that wasn't as good.
Right.
Godfather Part 3.
Oh, right. Godfather Part 3. Okay.
Yeah, that was for the money. Because 1 and 2 was the book.
Yeah.
3 was just this extensive add-on. I think they got Mario Puzo back.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they got him back. But yeah.
It didn't live up to expectations.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely not. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is.
Uh-huh.
But I can see why people would think it's bad, if that makes sense.
Sure. I get that.
So it's kind of like Rocky V. I could see why people say that's bad, but I don't think it's as bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. I think that's a good distinction. The reason I ask about that is because he's. Do you know when Scorsese said the stuff about Marvel? He kind of had the same sentiment. I don't know why these film directors of that era are saying things like that, because they were those guys back then.
At the same time, you got to understand. Well, I don't care if I get crucified about this. Here's the thing: I've always been a huge comic book guy. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this era of films that we are getting now, 14-year-old me is like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's like fanboying out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Fanboying out. I mean, there's a Bloodshot movie. Doesn't look any good, but I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. I actually really want to see it. Mainly because, not because like I was a big Bloodshot fan. I want to see it because it's a comic movie, and I want to see it because, well, Bloodshot looked cool in the comics. I never read his comics, but he always looked cool. But he was Valiant Comics, and I was a Marvel guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I want to see what Bloodshot's about, and I want to see if I enjoy it for what it is. You know what I mean? Maybe it might be cool. Maybe it might be just as dog shit as I think it might be. But at the same time, because I'm a comic book fan and a comic book lover, I want to go see it. That being said, Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola are absolutely right. I mean, the market is oversaturated with these films, which is frustrating for people of their caliber, because when they try and make a film that they want to make, it's hard to make those films because investors see it as like a DVD movie. You know what I mean? A straight to streaming service.
So basically, they don't see them getting their investment back if it's released in the cinema.
Exactly. Because most cinema goers, not all cinema goers, but most cinema goers will only see
spectacle
film now.
Spectacle movies.
In a spectacle. And that's a shame for other filmmakers trying to make it and stuff. I mean, it's great if you're a filmmaker and you're an upstart and you're just trying to make a movie, because we're living in a time now where you can just make a film and you've got so many different platforms that you can cater it to, if that makes sense. And that's amazing, because 30 years ago, we never had any of this. But now you can just you can make a film on your fucking phone. Okay, but it's just like the industry's shifted, you know. So The Irishman, for example, that I can see why Scorsese fought hard to get into theaters, because the way he shoots, the way he does his things, it deserves the movie theater. It's a movie you watch. You need to be immersed in it. You know,
I'll go to say that most directors would not like to see their film go straight to they'd like to see a theatrical version of their film as opposed to going straight to whatever.
That's for every director. But at the same time, I do get the logic of Netflix, because you can always get an audience that way somehow. There is the fear of it being lost in the ether, but you're always going to get something out from that, depending on how you market and promote your own movie. I've got some friends that have got some films on Amazon Prime, which they've put out, and fair enough, like, they're making money out of it, and they're not millionaires, but their stuff's out there, and when they meet people, they pimp it out. You know, if you guys want a film to watch, there's a film called Homeless Ashes by this guy I know called Mark Zummit. It's had a very limited theatrical run. The theatrical run only just ended because of the coronavirus. When I say limited, as in he's booked the theaters kind of Kevin Smith style and did it that way and stuff. And it's got Jason Fleming in there. Yeah, it's got Jason Fleming in it. And it's doing well for an independent film that this guy that was an actor just decided to grab a camera and do it. You know, and hopefully it will hit more people, on streaming services. But it's already had a viewing in Parliament.
In Parliament? Why?
Yeah, because it addresses the homeless issues there are in this country.
Right. Okay. So it's.
I managed to get a showing in Parliament.
So it's an educational film.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it's more a drama, but I guess you could show it that way to show how homeless people live and stuff, and that it is a bit of an epidemic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Etc. And yeah.
Okay.
Definitely check it out. There's a plug.
Right. Okay.
There's the Mark's film.
There you go. Yeah. There's something for for people to watch over this crazy time. Okay. Well, yeah, I did get a point for that. I would also like to add to that ticket prices have not been generous to. If you're going to go to watch a movie now, you have to really if you're like the average person, you have to make a decision. Okay, there's all these films. What am I going to watch? Am I going to watch this big spectacle film that I'm going to see my money on the screen on? And I'm pretty sure I'll have a good time, or at least an entertaining time watching, or risk putting my money to watch a film that may or may not be okay. I think when it comes to that, I think these small independent movies will always lose to spectacle, especially when it comes to ticket price and making the decision about what film you're going to go watch. Some people watch 4 or 5 movies a year in the cinema, and that doesn't leave enough space for something like a Shutter Island or a what's the film called you just mentioned? The Irishman or something like
Irishman,
that. Yeah. Even though it had like a 3-week theatrical run, I think that was just to get an Oscar nomination consideration. I think. The reason why I say that, if the times are changing, what can you do as a filmmaker to encompass that? Instead of saying that there's too many of these films around, why can't you think of something to do to I'm saying this to Coppola. Spielberg's managed to do fine, and they're part of the Beards. So Lucas has done fine. He thought out of the box. He made Star Wars. He also made American Graffiti, which is a very different film to Star Wars. But again, he makes different type. I can't say George Lucas makes different type of films, but he's interested in lots of different types of films. So I don't. I have a disconnect when someone like Scorsese or Coppola says that that's all there is now, and they're kind of wrong about that, because there's only five movies a year that are superhero movies. The rest of it is you've got a whole year worth of cinema space to do as you wish to get someone in there. But yeah, that's me over.
I mean, George Lucas has always been visionary. I mean, like his first ever short film, he did like a short film, and it was just a series of images and like still photography kind of stuff, just edited in a way. Mm-hmm. And the way it was done, it kind of blew everyone's mind at film festivals. Because what a lot of people don't know is before Star Wars, before American Graffiti, and even before THX 1138, when he was at film school, he was actually like a big name in the short film world.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. This has only come to light now in the past couple of years, because they've actually shown, you can actually look at all of his short films online now. And his first one, the way it was edited, because he edited it himself, it was edited like a Guy Ritchie movie. And the techniques in the short film were never seen again until the 1990s.
Yeah, when he had linear editing.
Yeah, exactly. But he did it back then.
Yeah.
And if you looked at it, you're like, wow, that's really powerful. And you can also tell from that very first fucking film, you could tell he was more a visual director than someone that likes
to work with actors.
Huh?
Someone that he's more a visual director than someone that likes to work with actors in the sense of moving. He just wants the thing to happen as opposed to explaining what's going on. Yeah.
So it was evident then. I'm kind of I kind of wish that after Revenge of the Sith that he just did an independent, low budget kind of film.
He tried to.
That kind of like
Red Tails.
He did himself.
Right.
Just put it out there and just and have it be like, I don't know, some fucking amazing fucking thing as a big fuck you to everyone that coded. You know what I mean? But
I mean, I think he's got enough fuck you money.
Yeah. But I don't know, man.
So we're off to a tangent again. That was just a question to see what you thought of for Coppola. Going back on track.
Segueing in there, I mean, Rise of Skywalker.
What do you make of it?
What do I make of it? I think I wanted to walk out after reading the first paragraph of the opening crawl, man.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much. I was just like, here's the thing. We knew Palpatine was going to be back. Fuck it. This is going to be all spoilers.
Oh, no. Okay? Palpatine's in the trailer. You hear him in the trailer anyway.
Yeah, you hear him in the trailer. We knew he was coming back. Okay, everyone knew he was coming back. Okay, anyone hardcore knew he was coming back. But it was like, how did he come back? How? Why? What the fuck? What possible? I don't understand this. And it's just like, the Emperor speaks. Speaks from what? What? How did he? The opening crawl automatically made no sense. The Emperor speaks. He speaks from the hollow depths of space or whatnot. What does it say? Hang on. I need to read this. I need to fucking dissect this because this is just hang on. I don't want hang on. Star Wars. Here we go. The dead speak. The galaxy heard a mysterious broadcast, a threat of revenge in the sinister voice of the late Emperor Palpatine. Okay, so
that doesn't bother me.
That doesn't bother you?
No.
Okay. So
it's. Do you know what bothers me?
My initial thought is this. Is my initial thought. This guy waited 40 years to send out a broadcast to go, I'm back, bitches.
Sure. No, do you know what? That's absolutely fine. It's the why and how he's back. Is that's
bollocks.
Right.
Kind of thing, okay. Just to me personally, I was just like, you waited 40 years just to say, yo, I'm back.
Yeah. Again, that holds no credence to me. What really gets under my skin?
Threat of revenge. Revenge from what? Who's he getting revenge on? The Skywalkers are dead.
Well, not all of them.
On the Republic? What? You already own that, technically. It makes no sense.
It doesn't, but again, it's the how and why. That's the stupider thing.
Agreed with you, and I totally agree with that. But that just made no sense. Well, did he just transmit on a megaphone? And then when you see him, it's like, well, how did he fucking get that message out? He's connected to loads of fucking things. Oh no, man! Fucking the whole movie's fucking stupid. But no, yeah.
I can't remember most of it, to be honest.
Well, I know there was this bit where she yells, "She's all the Jedi."
Yeah, and that's exceedingly corny. That's for Star Wars. Even though I've always found Star Wars a little bit corny, that went up for the scale. That I don't know. They start again. It started off quite well with what was the episode 7 called?
Force Awakens.
Yeah, it started off just seeing what Kylo Ren could do with the Force. That was really cool to see. It was a really good visual to and that was right at the beginning of the film. So it really, whoa, okay, I ain't seen Vader do that. I haven't seen Maul do that. I haven't seen any Sith do that. So
yeah,
who is this guy? and that's good start. And that a lot of wasted opportunity. I don't know what that second film was about, but a lot of people like it, and they feel free to. But when you have the ending is broken, so that more or less breaks the whole trilogy of Rey's arc. Anyway, it's broken. So
what didn't you like about The Last Jedi? I've never really. What thing specifically? I know what I didn't like about it, but
I didn't like what they did to Luke.
I didn't like what specific thing?
I mean, I understand him not being able to see his nephew turning. That would kind of break. I mean, you were responsible for him, so yeah, it would break him a little bit. But to turn him into what he was, Jesus.
See, I didn't mind grumpy Luke and all of that. I didn't mind any of that. I didn't like the why. I didn't buy the why.
Mm-hmm.
If they'd made it like a proper family tragedy, this is kind of because I've had a lot of time to think about this. Obviously, like Ken's got a thing where he's going to do like, what would you do with this? So I thought, what would I do with Coppola?
Oh God, yeah, everyone's doing that.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
We've got the ultimate version, which is the one of the film we're talking about. This is what I would do with Star Wars.
Well, anyway. Look, the point being is, you're talking about Luke Skywalker. Look at the original films. He's the biggest optimist.
Yeah.
He's the most optimistic character in the whole trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And finds out his dad's Darth Vader. You know what I mean? And like, this guy's like the evilest bad dude ever.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. He's like Hitler bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? He's like Hitler level bad. But it's about him trying to save his dad to come back to the good side, right?
Yeah.
You know, the whole arc is about Anakin trying to save his son to redeem himself, bringing balance to the Force, right? That's the whole story. That's Lucas's story. You know what I mean? Hence why you do the 3 films before, to see why it was that. But Luke represents optimism, you know? So, you know, for him to be that optimistic guy, to even allow Vader to be like, okay, you're my dad, blah, 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 cool. You know, he even says in Jedi, when he gives himself up, he goes to, he's about to go to the Emperor, okay? He gives himself up to Vader to go to the Emperor, okay? But he gives himself up because he felt good in Vader. He even tells Leia that in Return of the Jedi. He goes, I felt the good in him. You know what I mean? And they have that big, long sequence between Luke and Vader, and that's Luke trying to persuade him to come with him. He's like, join me.
Yeah.
You know, reverse on Empire. And what does Vader say? He says, it's too late for me, son. You know what I mean? That's literally, it's too late for me, son. And
well, don't transcript the whole movie. I understand what you mean.
The Stormtroopers can't take him away. But point being is, yeah, he, you know what I mean? Like, he believes someone can be turned, and he's seen someone turn. He saw Hitler get turned into a good guy. But point being is, Kylo Ren has a thought when he's a 14-year-old kid while he's asleep about turning to the dark side, and he takes that moment to ignite his lightsaber and slaughter his young nephew. It's like, That makes no sense. That's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
That's a betrayal of character. If you were to say that Snoke was like a bad teacher at the academy, you know what I mean? Maybe he was like a Jedi that they found, and he was Luke's friend. And
Snoke.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, maybe because Luke would have set up a Jedi Order, right? Mm-hmm. Realistically, anyone that was from Order 66 in hiding, he'd be like, "Yo, I'm Skywalker. I'm trying to build a school here. Mm-hmm. Get some people that know fucking Jedi knowledge, because that's what it's about. You know, finding the knowledge and sharing it." Then you have like Snoke, and Snoke's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll come to this thing," but he's actually a Sith, and he he don't tell them that because that's the nature of the Sith. You know what I mean? Does a Palpatine where he uses dark side power to cloak himself so they can't detect him and shit. And then he finds young, like-minded pupils, the Knights of Ren, that are in their teenage years where anything could happen and they could go dark. You know what I mean? Over certain stuff, and he selects the misfits that that could easily go dark, and he sent something. He obviously with Kylo Ren, he's the next descendant of Skywalker. So of course he's a perfect candidate. So of course he's going to seduce him to the dark side. You know what I mean? And then maybe just be a case that Kylo falls in with the wrong crowd. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then maybe they do something that causes the destruction of the school, and maybe that destruction of the school accidentally kills Luke's whole family. Maybe Luke had a wife and a child, and they both perished in that fucking disaster. And that's why Luke doesn't want to leave the island, because he knows, and maybe that's why he's cut off from the Force, because maybe he's so enraged by that one incident, by what his nephew did, because it's a family tragedy, that he doesn't want to be at one with the Force, because he's afraid of what he could do with, you know what I mean, with that rage. You know what I mean? Because it goes against the very thing that he taught and studied and trained. You know what I mean? And that's why I'd have him completely be like, "I train you, Rey, but I'm not going to use the Force." You know what I mean? I'm not going to use the Force and cut myself off, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I swore never to train anyone again. Okay, I'll train you, whatever, cool, blah, 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 but I'm not fucking busting a move. You know what I mean? And I would have got that. Because, one, it brings in conflict, and the other thing is Kylo Ren's big whole thing could just be of shame. Mm-hmm. Because he's ashamed of what he's done. Do you know what I mean? And he's realized he's on the wrong path, mm-hmm. kind of thing. And then you could also redeem him, because here's the thing: he's in league with Snoke, and the only way to take down Snoke is for him to go, kind of be on their side and take him out from the inside. And maybe that was his plan. This is what I would have done. And then you know what? You know the scene between Han Solo and fucking Kylo Ren? I would have had it where Han killed himself to save his son, to go, "Look, I'm the sacrifice to save you."
Right. Okay.
Kind of to save you. And then that would make that bit in Rise of Skywalker, where he has the flashback to Han Solo, so much more prominent, because that is kind of like, you know what you've got to do. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? If that was a backstory, would have made that scene work a hell of a lot better. You know what I mean? It just would have been. It would have felt like there was a plan. You know what I mean? Just with that one change in the backstory,
right?
You know, and it would have explained Snoke a lot more, even though he died in number 2.
Which I thought was stupid.
Yeah, I think everyone thought it was stupid, because we didn't get to know him. We didn't know who he was. What was the point? It made no. If you're going to do a clone, have a clone of Snoke. He's the guy we need to know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
He's the guy we need to know. We already know Palpatine's story. He got turned into atoms, but not according to the books. The book that explains stuff that we didn't get in the movie, because that's how good films are made. We're not going to tell you shit. We're going to put it in this side story here that you have to read to accompany with you with the fucking movie.
Yeah, I'm just going to reiterate. Whoever thought Disney owning Star Wars would be better than Lucas owning Star Wars, this is my proof that no one really knows what to do with this. With Star Wars, even the biggest entity in the world, like Disney, don't know what to do with it.
Beg to differ, man. Favreau and Filoni know what to do.
Yeah, they do, but again, they have to work for these entities, and I mean, it's I don't know where Star Wars is going to go from here, but I can't say it's going to take a lot to pull me back in. A lot.
Yeah, same. I mean, well, I don't know. I'm open to new stuff. It's just a case of, for me, I think the spin-offs have been really good, kind of thing. They just fucked the main saga for me.
Well, the spin-offs, even with the spin-offs, I don't know how many they are, but
we got Rogue One, we got The Mandalorian, we got Star Wars Rebels, and we got Solo.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I haven't seen Solo yet.
Solo's good.
Yeah, I want to watch Solo. I would say my only reservation with God, what is it called? Rogue One is that actually I don't really have many reservations with Rogue One. I've only watched it twice. I enjoyed it less the second time around, but I think that's due to who I was with.
Okay.
I was with one of my mates, and he complains about everything.
Oh, okay.
So it was one of those things that I just want to get out of here now. Yeah, I don't know. It'll just take me a lot to get back into that world, because that last one was very. It felt unfinished. It felt like they were feeling. We got to do this because of this, and blah 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 blah. I know a lot of people hate the Game of Thrones ending, but I thought that had a much more satisfying ending than Star Wars did.
Well, yeah.
But anyway. What we beyond Star Wars now?
Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah.
James Mangold directing.
Yeah, that's a possibility. So, what? I like James Mangold. I think he's on a high. He's the last two of his films were very well received. Two of them receiving Oscar nominations. So, yeah, Logan. I know you have reservations with. Ford v Ferrari. I'll see on Friday.
You haven't seen it yet. It's amazing.
Yeah, I ordered it. So it arrives on Friday. No, tomorrow. No, Friday. 2 days from now. It arrives on Friday, so I will get to watch it then. From what I heard about Ford v Ferrari, it's like one of the. It's great.
Yeah, it is. Very good.
So I'm dying to see that. Logan, I really liked. It was bittersweet because I don't want to see what happened at the end happen. But yeah, it's and I like the girl that was in it. I can't remember her name, the actor's name. What was her name? But she's a British girl that I thought she was Spanish, and just because she was talking Spanish so fluently, I was like, oh right, she's Spanish. Okay then. I mean, she's English. Okay then. Again, I've a lot about that. For even Patrick Stewart's version of Xavier was gritty. Anyway, yeah, James Mangold, good choice. What do you make of his the choice for him?
Randy?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait. I like him. I like him as a director. I personally am gonna put it this way. For me, it was just seeing the team of Ford and Spielberg back together doing their thing. But probably for Spielberg to just make a better one than the last one. At the same time, James Mangold's a good choice for a fresh, new kind of take off it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I just kind of lost interest that it's not a Steven Spielberg film. If that makes sense.
I have more interest now that it's not a Steven Spielberg film.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic.
To be honest, if Spielberg he doesn't really want to do it, I'd rather someone who wants to do it than someone who. Yeah,
totally. I totally agree with that as well. If Spielberg's heart's not in it, then sure. I mean, like, you can kind of tell he was kind of roped into doing the last one.
Yeah.
And I don't blame Spielberg for that last film at all. I do blame George, though, because when he got told no aliens the first time round,
mm-hmm.
he should have tried something else. But
I don't
believe in it. So
I don't think aliens is the problem with that story. It's the way it's told. It's the way it's delivered to you. I think it could have done something if it was delivered in a particular way. Again, the more I watch that last film, the only issue that I seem to have with it is the flying monkey, the swinging monkey part, and a bit of Shia LaBeouf's character here and there.
Oh, really? I didn't think he was that bad.
He's not. It's just in some areas, a couple of areas. And yeah, the third act seems very shoehorned. It's not. I mean, they end up in this location that does this, and then they're here, and there's not much. With like the Temple of Doom, you understood location-wise what was going on, and situation-wise what all the characters needed to do. In this last film, it was very everything was very convenient. Everything happened very conveniently, and that's where it loses it. Bad storytelling is that shines very bright when it's on a screen. I don't know what the MacGuffin will be in this film, but whatever it is, I guess going for more traditional MacGuffin is the way to go. I don't know. We'll see. But I think if James Mangold's better than anyone to do it at this point. I can't even think of who would take that mantle. Maybe James Cameron. I would like to see what he would do with Indiana Jones, because it's just so out of his foray. I'll be very interested to see what we would do with that. But beyond that, I can't think of any other director that could pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk about that anymore, or have you said everything you need to say about it?
That's cool. The Batman.
Okay. Yeah, Batman. What about it?
What do you think? Your first shots are out. Still in the cape.
I mean, all I could meh.
Yeah.
Until I see a trailer, it's exactly. Do you know when you first showed me Keith Ledger as a Joker? I was like, whatever. I just wasn't bothered. I said, I remember
that. See, but you know what? I'm glad you said that, because we live in a time when people just seem to not even remember that response.
I remember it very well because I was one of them.
Yeah. I know, right? Even I was just thinking, the guy from The Knight's Tale. I was like, but you know what though? I was like, well, Christopher Nolan would have casted him for a reason, and he hasn't made a shit film yet.
Yeah.
That was my stance on it. And like people were like, oh no, they fucked it up. He's going to be terrible. He's no Jack Nicholson. Why have they not got Jack Nicholson? And it's like, hey, look, I do love Jack Nicholson as Joker. Okay. And if anyone that said Jack Nicholson's crap, they just need to just be gone. Okay. But Heath Ledger just took it to such another level, man. I mean, Jack Nicholson was just Jack Nicholson on LSD. I'm being sarcastic there. That's what that was.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
I mean, you had Prince doing the soundtrack to that film. I mean, if there's anything that would suggest that it's a mind trip, it's the fact that George Nicholson's the Joker and Prince is doing the soundtrack to the film. When I say soundtrack, not the theatrical soundtrack, that was Danny Elfman. But Robert Pattinson, I'm not sold on. I'm sure I'll be wrong, but sorry,
he'll be fine.
I'm sure he will. This is why I'm not. The reason why I'm just meh about it is because I don't. When it comes to especially Batman, I've always had like I don't know about this vibe, and so now I've just got to ignore that and wait and see. So I don't like the look of anything I've seen so far, but I haven't seen it in action. So once I see it in action and the world makes sense for what they've shown, then I will get excited about it.
I'm about to send you a WhatsApp message. You have to read it because I can't fathom this amount of money. Hang on. This is how much Jack Nicholson has been paid for Batman for the years.
Okay.
I worked it out.
Well, that's a lot of money. I don't even know. There's no decimal point in this, so I'm guessing it's.
There's supposed to be a zero there. That's cents.
Right. Okay. So he's been paid millions then for this. Ever since he started.
Since he started, because his initial deal was 10 million plus 5% of the ticket gross of not just Batman, but every Batman movie that comes out afterwards. Sequels, reboots, as long as it's shown in a movie theater, Jack gets paid.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So he's been paid for every Batman movie ever.
Damn, that's a good deal. So
that figure was worked out. So 5% off of all the Batman movies. That was based on the 5% off of all the Batman movies that have ever come out.
Right.
Okay. Then you have to deduct 20% of that number because that's what the agent gets.
Okay. Well, he's made a lot of money.
Yeah.
From the bottom.
And add the 10 million, and that's the number.
Okay. Well.
So you know what Jack Nicholson's favorite movie is next year?
Yeah. At this point, I don't even think he looks at the checks anymore. He just there's more money. He's got a money bin.
Yeah, he's just playing golf and watching the Lakers.
Yeah, more or less. I know there was one film he was interested in doing, which was a German film. He wanted to remake. I can't remember the name of it, but that seems not to be happening anymore. It would be good to see him on screen one more time. But
that's since The Departed.
I guess you're right. Yeah. Again, he was interested in this one German film, and I guess he just wants to live out the rest of his days now and just do his thing. And why not, man? Why not? But yeah, going back to the Batman, who's Catwoman in this film?
Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Oh, Zoe Kravitz. Okay, yeah.
Zoe Kravitz, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be good to see. I think she's a good choice. She's athletic. She's already been in a X-Men film, so she knows the world that she's going to be indulged in. So that's a good. She was in the X-Men First Class.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah.
It's when they're going around looking for mutants.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. She was the one with the
butterfly wings, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Oh man,
I can't remember the character's name, but I know she was in it. Because I remember her. I remember that specifically because I didn't even know Lenny Kravitz had a daughter. So I was like, "What? Lenny Kravitz has a daughter, and she's old enough to play in films? Oh my god!" And so that was that was cool. Anyway, so she's Catwoman. Good choice. She's got an Eartha Kitt kind of look to her.
I think Patterson will be fine. I mean, he's an amazing actor. I've never seen Twilight, so I can't speak for those films. But that's the first thing I say to everyone. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's going to be shit. He was in Twilight." I was like, "Well, have you seen Twilight?" They're like, "No, why would I watch Twilight?" It's like, "Well, why would you know that he's rubbish?" Mm-hmm. I've never seen Twilight, but I've seen everything else he's been in. Lost City of Z, The Rover, The Lighthouse. He's amazing in all these other films. So, I'm not going to judge him of some crap vampire film that I had no intention of seeing. Mm-hmm. Do you know why? Because it's a crap vampire film that I had no intention of seeing. But I'm not going to judge him on it, Yeah. Does he look good in the suit? Well, he's playing Batman. Everyone looks good in a suit. It's just a suit. Will he make a good Bruce Wayne? Well, I've seen High Times, and he was good in that, and I can see why they cast him as Bruce Wayne.
I haven't seen any one of these films except The Lighthouse. That's the only film I've seen him in.
What, The Lighthouse?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I think he'll do a good job, man. And to be quite honest, he's one of those actors where he did the Twilight thing. Mm-hmm. And he clearly did it for money. If you look at the interviews in all of them, mm-hmm. he doesn't care. He really doesn't care. And he famously tried to get out of it. And they wanted him for 50 Shades of Grey.
Really wow, badly. Really?
And he turned it down flat out. He was like, no, I've already sold out once. I'm not going to be that guy. Because he knew mm-hmm. that if he did do the big blockbuster films, it wasn't time yet. You know what I mean? It wasn't time for him. Yeah. He got Marvel offers. He got anything that's come out, he's been offered, and he's just stuck mm-hmm. to the low budget films. He's grinded. He's learnt his craft really, really well, mm-hmm. And he's come out with performance after performance after performance. Unfortunately, it's stuff nobody's seen, but the Batman's offered to him, and most guys want to be Batman. You know what I mean? If you get a superhero, 9 out of 10, deep down, people are like, I want Batman. Okay? Yeah. They don't want Star-Lord. They're like, who the fuck was Star-Lord? I'm saying it now. You know what I mean? People are like, it's a Marvel character. Oh, it's a Marvel character. Cool. Who is he? Because all the best ones are taken. Now it's the brand people want to be. But if growing up as a kid, people want to be Batman. You know what I mean? I want to be Spider-Man personally, but Batman was the guy.
I wanted to be Omega Red.
Cool. You fucked that one up, Joe.
What do you mean?
But you know what I mean? Like he waited and he got the big one.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know Omega Red was in Deadpool 2.
He's mentioned. He's not in it.
No, he's in it. There's he's in the background apparently. So in the prison, he's playing chess with someone, and I watched this last night. There was like a whole thing about it, and he's in the background. He's playing chess.
I need to rewatch that film now. I need to find a YouTube of that now. That's crazy.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
What made that film even more good?
Yeah. They thought about a lot in that film, man. The
fact they got Brad Pitt in there for one scene is fucking gold.
Spoilers. No, I'm joking. They won't. Yeah, I mean, they will. It's a blink and you'll miss it.
He was originally going to be. He was first choice for Cable.
Really?
Yeah, he was first choice for Cable. They had all the art got leaked online ages ago, and you know what? After seeing the art, I kind of see where they were going for, and I think he would have been good.
Right.
But they picked the right guy, and the other thing was Brad Pitt loved it so much, and he liked the first one so much. He was like, "I'll do anything."
Yeah. That was
and that's why he got the cameo. He was like, oh, "Anything? Okay, cool. You can be the Vanisher."
It's a really good cameo.
Yeah.
So I went off to tangent there again. So the Batman, Michael Giacchino says that he's got total freedom to write a score for it, which is scary. At this point, would you, if every new iteration of Batman, would you redo the score if that were you, or would you keep it similar or the same, or?
Well, I'm not directing a Batman movie, so I don't know.
That's why I'm asking you.
You know what? I'm going to say this straight up. I love the Tim Burton score, the Danny Elfman score. Okay, because that's Batman to me growing up. But at the same time, I don't think it would have suited Nolan's films.
No, it wouldn't. No. It's a very different film.
Yeah, it would never have suited Nolan's films at all. I do think that hang on, give me one moment.
Sure, no problem.
Could you just mute me a sec?
Yep, sure. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
We were talking about Batman, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see what he does, to be honest. It's like the only score that I think they should have kept was the Superman score, because that's too iconic.
It's overly iconic.
It's so iconic. It's just like, why did they change that? The only person that's arguing with me about the whole fucking Superman thing is Ken.
I mean, he's alone in that. No one remembers Hans Zimmer's score. I'm not saying his score was bad. I'm just saying
it wasn't bad. To be honest, it was a good score for that movie. I think it would have benefited from the traditional. You know what I mean?
Once something is in the design, it's like Ryu's theme. Yeah. You can't change that now. You can't change Ryu's theme now. You can't change Ken's theme now.
I do like the Hans Zimmer action scene between Zod and Superman. That theme when he's having the Smallville fight, I like that tune.
I don't know. I don't remember it.
But the actual Superman tune, it was okay. It was serviceable. But that's just it. It was just serviceable. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
But that's what Hans Zimmer does quite well. I think I think there's maybe 5 scores that I really like of his. One being Gladiator. The other being Last Samurai, Inception. There's a few others as well. I just can't think of them. I'll never credit him for Batman because James Newton Howard helped him score that. So I can't give him credit for that. I'll give him partial credit for it, and as James Newton Howard. But he collaborates on a lot of scores. So I don't know, man. I don't know. The Superman, the Man of Steel music didn't leave a mark on me at all. I found it quite underwhelming.
You know what? I think his worst score to date was X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Oh, really?
Oh, man. Dude. Okay, so Bryan Singer, no matter what people think of him, he more or less brought back X-Men and killed it with Apocalypse. But, you know, I still think Apocalypse, we could have looked past it had Phoenix had been a good film. But, that film was a disaster, and that score was not good. That score was lazy, made the movie boring, and it literally did. It kind of helped towards the tone of the movie, if you know what I mean. And, and I swear it was just the same tune over and over throughout the whole movie.
He does that though. He likes a lot of repetition.
Yeah, but the thing was, it was God. He like how the X-Men, like Bryan Singer's X-Men film, had a theme song. Yeah, it had that. Okay, thrown out the window, and just had the same song that went throughout the whole damn film.
They seem to throughout X-Men's history. Bryan Singer tried to give it some consistency, and then when a director took over, they changed the composer. Yeah,
and they just threw it out. Yeah, I mean, the only person that I think kept it consistent, tried to keep it consistent, was fucking Brett Ratner, even though his movie sucked.
Yeah, that's true.
He went as far as got the same DOP. He tried to get the same composer, but they said no. Well, what's it? They couldn't do it because of scheduling conflict. John Ottman couldn't do it because of scheduling conflict. So they got someone else, and he didn't want to do what Ottman did. So he, made something which sounded similar, but it wasn't. It wasn't the same thing.
Yeah.
And but you know what? That was a good soundtrack, regardless. But, as bad as the movie was, it wasn't that bad a soundtrack. It just would have been benefited if they had the theme. First Class was completely different, but
I actually liked it.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked Magneto's theme.
Magneto's theme was powerful.
Yeah, it was probably like one of the best themes in there. Yeah, I wish they kept that theme for him in all of the movies.
So do I.
Because it just meant, oh shit, he's here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Oh man, it was so good.
It's really good. It's really good. I don't know why there's so many egos involved when it comes to things like that. So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to do my own. It's like even with the Bourne series, throughout all of the films, it has consistency. They all sound like Bourne films, and that's thanks to who's the composer's name? He's another one of my favorite composers, so I can't remember the name of now. He also did that Star Wars film, the Solo Star Wars film.
Oh yeah, I know who you're on about. I know who you're on about. But God. Solo had a good soundtrack. Had a really good soundtrack.
Yeah, and so I don't understand. Have some consistency. Consistency works. Consistency works in every situation, especially if you have a series of films. No. Anyway, what was I saying about Batman? Yeah, Michael Giacchino is free to do what he wants. Let's move on because we've been doing this for nearly a couple of hours now. We're coming up to the.
So the next topic: Universal scandal.
Right. So, from what I understand about this scandal is that Trolls was supposed to have a theatrical release, but because of what's going on, it couldn't. And so, what every company has done, they've called their theatre chain, all the theatre chains, and telling them that we want to release our movie on VOD or whatever format, and they've had like this spoken agreement, an agreement to say, okay, yep, you go do that. When this thing's over, we'll resume a normal schedule. And Universal was the only one that didn't do this. The theatre companies found out after the fact, and I can't find the guy's exact words. It's on Variety, but he said, Universal's going to, we will remember this. And that was the exact quote. I don't know what meeting, who this guy was being interviewed by, that spoke for the theaters, but those are fighting words. We will remember this. Those are fighting words. So we talked about this earlier today, and you had some insight in this. Judge.
Oh, sorry. Oh god, sorry, I tuned out. My friend just saw Iron Man 3 and thought it was decent.
Right. Fair dues.
So want to know what's next. Everyone's got Disney Plus now, or like that. I know that have kids, so they're like, "Hey, I can finally see these Marvel movies people have been going on about." That's literally what was said in a group chat. I was like, "Yeah, okay, here's a list."
What was stopping them from seeing Marvel movies?
Kids.
Yeah, but there's so many ways to access beyond Disney Plus.
Kids and life.
Yeah, again, there's so many other ways to access it beyond Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So, what we talking about? Universal scandal. Your question to me was, what was the question?
Never mind. I'm not going to repeat all of what I said. It's too long.
Okay.
What do you make of this scandal?
About the trolls thing and them saying no. Was it theatre chains going? We'll remember this, and like, here's the thing. All right, here's the thing. This is what's going to happen. All right, they're going to turn around to Universal and go, give them the old blah blah blah. Universal are just going to offer them more money once they realise, oh shit, then they actually mean it. And then when they do that, everything's going to be square.
You think it's going to be that simple?
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be that simple. Those deals are never that simple. I mean, like Tom Holland was not Spider-Man again for until a few other meetings happened, with the whole Sony thing. So that's just how it works. I think there'll be a few fucking discussions. There'll be a whole thing. You'll see it in the media, or maybe you won't. Maybe it'll do what stuff's supposed to happen, and it be a behind closed doors thing, and doesn't become the thing. But chances are there's going to be a few meetings. They might pay them more because they broke an agreement or whatnot, and then they can put their films back in theaters again. But if you're telling me that theater chains are going to be like, you're not going to show your Fast and Furious in our theater chains, well, I beg to differ, because when you look at the landscape of movies that come in, and if it's not a blockbuster like the Fast and the Furious, well, I tell you what, theater chains are going to Universal going, yeah, we need butts on seats this week, and we hear you got a Fast movie coming out, because they know the numbers on those Fast movies on opening weekends. They definitely do. In fact, their business relies on it. So and if any theater chain management is thinking otherwise, then they haven't been in their jobs too long, okay? Haven't been in their film buying jobs too long, and they're fucking green, okay? So personally, I think that was a dumb comment. I get why they're pissed, because Trolls is a huge butts on seats for them. You know what I mean? That's a huge one, especially over the Easter period. Considering coronavirus time and your theatres are closed anyway, what are they to do? If everyone else is doing it, of course they're going to do it.
No, but I think the issue here is that they're false. I think Universal false advertising as well, because they're saying it's going to be in theatres, which it isn't.
Oh yeah.
I think there's more to this than that's been underlined. I don't think it's going to be that simple, but or John Campy definitely doesn't think it's going to be that simple.
I think it will be. I'm not going off what Campier says. I'm going off someone that has worked in cinema, has seen similar stuff like this has happened before in the past, believe it or not, with films, and it happens all the time. The most famous one was Ocean's 12. funnily enough.
That was the most famous one? I don't remember anything happening with Warner Brothers in that.
Oh, right. Well, okay. Well, that's because it wasn't heavily advertised. Do you know why? Well, there was this company called Warner Brothers. Everyone's familiar with them.
This company called Warner Brothers? They're still around, dude.
Cinemas, right?
Joking, man. Carry on.
Well, they used to own cinemas, right?
Warner Brothers, yeah.
Yeah, they used to own cinemas. So
they still do in Spain.
Yeah, well, whenever they used to do a movie premiere, they'd always do it in their cinemas. Because they're not going to go to a competitor like Odeon or Showcase or, you know what I mean, any other guy, you know. They're doing their cinemas. Okay? So their whole, you know, it's the premiere of Ocean's 12 in London. Okay? This is a true story. And they turned round. What's it? They're there, they're celebrating, etc. And their marketing guys are there and stuff. And then the View Cinemas marketing people, they came over and they gave them the bill.
Okay.
Warner Brothers are like, what's this? Well, we always get it for free. It's like, yeah, but you don't own the place anymore. Here's the bill. And they're like, well, we're not going to pay it. And they're like, well, you have to pay it. You've rented out our venue. You know what I mean? It was an actual thing. And Warner Brothers turned around to View and said, well, fine, we're not showing any of our product at View Cinemas.
Right, okay.
Like, literally, they were like, any View, no WB stuff over that. I don't know about you, but I've seen loads of Warner Brothers films since. Do you know why?
Are you waiting me to respond to that?
Well, yeah, I was waiting for you to respond to that.
That's a rhetorical question. I mean, just tell me.
Do you know why? Money. Money's why. Okay. Seriously, they're gonna pull their Batman film or their Harry Potters from View. Okay, cool. View were like, cool, you do that.
Okay.
Oh no, Warner Brothers. You know what I mean? You need to show a film. You need butts on seats. They both work kind of. There's a synergy there. One needs the other, and the other needs the other. You know what I mean? It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
Right.
And it's not a big thing. All that's happened is someone has fucked up. You know what I mean? Royally. You know what I mean? Someone has fucked up royally with an agreement that they have had, and you know what I mean? They just got put to rest. That's all it is. Say I'm sorry. Blah blah. Here's some money. Pay a fine, whatever the costs are for whatever.
A fine? I don't think there'll be a fine, but you said that last time. Fine. I don't understand how the fine.
Okay,
fine would work.
Let's say that you're a business and you're expecting, like, you put the marketing out. You put the marketing out for something. Okay. And this other business that you're depending on this kind of event comes through, doesn't come through. But you've spent all of this saying that it does. Right? In their case, maybe flyers, maybe exclusive troll promotions and whatnot.
Isn't that got to do with the toy company? It's toys you're talking about?
Not all the time.
Okay.
Sometimes they've got to figure that out themselves, because if it's a promotion that they're doing in-house at the cinema, they've got to pay for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? They've got to pay for that to make that happen, because they're pimping out like an extra sauce kind of thing. You know what I mean? To make more money.
Right.
It's concessions.
Okay.
Okay, so that stuff doesn't work. Well, they need to get fined for that, because we've paid all this money to, shift all this gear, and we've not able to sit in there. No, you pay the fucking fine, and we'll be square.
So wouldn't you just pay what's in the agreement, in the contracted agreement? That's if I'm a freelancer, so if I didn't,
you would pay whatever's owed, etc. Of course, but then it depends. Whatever they decide is whatever it is, because there are some companies that would pay a fine for stuff like that. So I don't know.
Right.
Again, like I said, meeting.
Right.
You know?
Well, I mean, it's a crazy scandal. I didn't think it seems they're in good standing with everyone else, with every other film company but Universal. So I guess we'll keep an eye on it. I hope it sorts itself out, because I would hate to see films suffer from that issue. I mean, there's a lot of other things going on here, that people's livelihoods in theaters that work in these theaters, they need to be paid, so on and so on. I think they both need each other as much as one needs the other. They both need each other. It's a symbiosis, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, you've educated me in some degree on that. I guess I'll.
He knows his stuff about movies, but when it comes to theatre chains, not so much.
Yeah, that was more Robert Barnett. It was the other guy.
Neil Barnett. Yeah.
They clearly know enough to. They know more than I do. So I'm gonna. I was watching it. He seemed very convinced that it was going to be a thing.
It's not a thing. Anyway, are
we moving on?
Yeah, Bond.
What about it?
Bond 25. Thoughts?
Don't know. I really don't know. I thought
the trailer looked amazing.
I thought I'd be seeing it in the next month, but that's not going to happen now. So I don't know. Honestly, don't know. I don't know what to make of this film.
I'm really going to see it. I'm intrigued by the female 007.
I'm intrigued that she has his 00 number.
He retired. This is the thing. There was an uproar about this. It's like, well,
no, That's not what I'm bothered about. I'm intrigued why he gave it up. I want to know.
Well, he retired in the last movie.
Did he?
Yeah, at the end, he retires and gets with the girl in that movie.
He gets married. Yeah. See, my whole thought on that is that they kind of pseudo redoing on Her Majesty's Secret Service, where he gets married and she dies.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what they've done here, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But so she's dead, obviously.
Yeah.
He gets married and he retires. That was at the end of the last movie. So when they were saying, there's a female 007, the woke police came about, and I'm just like, it's not woke.
The woke police.
it was part of the fucking story from the start, man. Fair enough. They put a female black chick. There have been many female 007s. Just watch You Only Live Twice, and you see all the 007s, all the 00 agents, and 4 of them were women.
Right.
And of different races and colour. So
I don't have an issue with that. A lot of other people did.
I'm just bringing it up because, some people are going to be like, wow,
I mean, these are people that don't know. It's people that usually don't know what they're talking about.
But someone else clearly had the 007 before he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, why would they do that movie?
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that. I want to know about that guy.
That movie, The Last 007, and have it be Sean Connery.
Oh, that would be amazing if it was. That'd be amazing if it was.
Well, then that would break the whole thing, because it's supposed to be the same guy. So doing that, it would be a good nod, but at the same time, they don't want to do that.
Yeah, for obvious reasons, I guess.
I think if they did that, they should pick an actor that could have been James Bond that never was, if that makes sense.
Oh, like Henry Cavill.
No, I'd say someone like Liam Neeson.
Oh, that'd be a good idea.
Someone like Liam Neeson, because you could tell he would have been a contender way back in the day, but obviously they already had a contender that was already too good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But he's never done it.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of like how they casted Sean Bean, because Sean Bean actually auditioned for 007, but they're like, no, actually, you'd make a better 006.
Right.
Kind of like That's where I'm going with that idea, if that makes sense. Someone that could have been Bond but never was.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Now that I've said it, I think fucking Liam Neeson would be awesome because one, he's still super fit.
Mm-hmm.
Two, he is getting on super old, so he would definitely fit the bill as a retired agent. You know what I mean? Probably up to dodgy dealings and stuff like that. So there you go, a good antagonist.
No, you can't do 006 again, man. He's just retired. He's just retired. I don't want to see that. Sean Bean is 006. You can't do better than him. And especially the way he.
Who'd you get for a new 006? As in, like that character, but played differently.
The guy who played Jamie Lannister.
Yeah, he'd be good.
Yeah.
That was a good choice. No, seriously. The minute you said it, I was like, I could totally see that. Who'd you get as the next Bond?
Someone unknown. I don't know who, but someone completely unknown. Look what they did with Christopher Reeves as Superman, and not that this is Superman, but I think you need an unbiased opinion of who this guy is, who's playing him now. Because Daniel Craig was a little bit famous before he was Bond.
I never heard of him before Bond.
What? Even in Layer Cake and.
No, I was aware of Layer Cake, but I never saw it until after he got cast.
Oh, fair enough.
So it was in my zeitgeist because it was there in the cinema while I was working, but I missed it on theatrical release.
Right.
And I saw it. I saw it literally when they said, "Oh, Daniel Craig of Layer Cake fame." I was like, "Oh, I remember that film." I didn't watch it, but then I watched it. I was like, "Okay," but I don't know because it's always an actor that's up and coming.
Mm-hmm. I'll go for something brand new. It's always someone that's been in something like a TV show or has been about in films, but is never the main guy. Mm-hmm.
That's always been the kind of type. Because Dalton was Timothy Dalton before he was Bond.
Yeah.
But he never was a frontliner. You know what I mean? He's never been a frontliner. He's only been a frontliner since he was Bond.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's never been an A-list actor. He's always been a villain or a supporting or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I think around the Bond era, that's when he started getting leading man status. But do you know what I mean? He's never really been that kind of actor. Pierce Brosnan was up and coming. He'd already made a name for himself in Remington Steele, and he'd done a lot of low-key movies that no one had really seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bond came, and that cemented him as a movie star. Roger Moore was just a household name anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was probably too famous to be Bond, but he was the one that everyone wanted to be Bond because of the Saint.
Right.
And Sean Connery was just Bond. He's just bored.
I am Bond.
Yeah. I mean, last time they went full unknown was Lazenby.
Right. Yeah, look how that turned out.
And that's why they'll never do it.
Right.
Okay, that is actually because, do you know how? Because the whole point was they wanted someone that looked like Sean Connery at the time,
right?
And they were looking for Sean Connery lookalikes. They even got a guy that had no. Look, here's the other thing: Lazenby had never acted before.
Ah, okay.
He never acted before. I felt he did a good job, to be quite honest, in that one film. He wasn't the acting, but I'm surprised he did as good a job as he was, considering he wasn't speaking to the director.
Damn, okay.
The first AD was the one directing him.
Jesus.
The director refused to speak to him because he'd already insulted the director.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 days into filming.
Wow, so he's quite a charming character then.
Well, he's in the press over the Me Too stuff.
Surprise.
Yeah,
I mean,
to be quite honest, he is quite Bondish, actually. He's quite the chauvinist.
To be honest, anyone from the 60s era is probably likely to be in the Me Too movement, purely because the standards have changed. And it's that's another issue. I'm pretty much sure you don't want to talk about. But man, I understand. In terms of this Bond, I just want it to come out now. But is it coming out next year now?
No, later this year, November.
November.
Which is a better release date for them, and that's probably the release date that the Broccolis probably wanted. Universal wanted it earlier, so.
Right.
And I actually think this happened before. Did it happen during Corona, or was it after Corona?
During, just when it was taking off.
Right, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, in terms of the next Bond, I mean, like, you know who I'd want. Hands down now. Okay. I thought about it for a while. For ages, I thought I was on the Henry Cavill bandwagon. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I don't think anyone's really rooting for this guy, but I am. Cillian Murphy.
Oh, the guy that lives down, do you know he goes into the Alice house?
What?
Yeah, he goes into, that's his local.
Shut up.
No, that's his local.
I'm going to the Alice house. Hang on, have you spoken to him? Have you met him?
No, I think Chris has, though. He lives, do you know, you've never been to the park, so just where the Alice house is, there's a police station across the road.
Man, you're putting this stuff online, man. We'll talk later.
I'm not going to tell you where he lives, I'm just telling you the area. I don't know where he lives, I just know he lives across from the park.
Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, he should be Bond. He should be Bond. I after watching Peaky Blinders, which, if you don't know what that is, everyone should.
No, I know what Peaky Blinders is.
Have you seen it?
I saw one season. This is when what's his name was in it? God.
Sam Neill.
No. Tom Hardy.
So second season.
Oh, that's the second season. I thought that was the first.
No, he's not in the first.
Oh, okay. Paint my face red. I know there's like 5 seasons or 6. I don't know.
Fine.
But I kind of tuned that. It's not really. I have to watch it again. I do like the show, but it's a tough watch.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I find it quite. It's very gritty, man. It's very gritty.
Very gritty. I do love it. Tom Hardy's character. Oh, he's too jokes. He's too jokes. I love him. But no, after watching that show, I was just like, he'd make an excellent Bond.
Apparently so with Tom Hardy.
No, not Tom Hardy.
No, apparently so with Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy would make an excellent Bond as well, but like, I think he'd make a better 006.
Maybe, but do you know 006 doesn't have to always be a bad guy? It could be 008 or 10.
Yeah, I know. They could do a story where they're friends.
Before he became bad.
Yeah, before.
Don't we play that in GoldenEye at some point? There's a section where
they could do a thing, and they could do like a retcon, because obviously it's a different universe. Have it set in Russia, and then have like a scene very similar, and have a Romov come and just like shoot him. And then you're like, shit, they killed his friend, and then that's the movie done, and it's like its own movie. But those that know will be like, oh shit, we just saw like a GoldenEye crossover, but it's not really GoldenEye, but like, do you know what I mean? And then, but people will get it. You know
but
I mean?
the thing is, there's no date set in GoldenEye. It doesn't have a date. There's no dates ever mentioned, so you could easily do it today and still reference that same thing.
Yeah.
I think it's doable.
But no, Cillian Murphy's my top pick. But personally, like I said, this is the last thing with Bond. I mean, like, what chances are of Daniel Craig coming back?
They're very doubtful. Just from the way I've seen him in interviews.
Yeah, I agree with that from his point of view, but we've been here twice before. The reason why I'm saying optimistic is mainly because, fact, the Broccolis love him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hands down love him. They don't want to see him go just yet. They've even said this. okay, they are willing to pay more money. But I think that train has sailed for him at the moment.
Well,
I think right now, personally, it's a waiting game to see who buckles.
Right. I mean, if that's the case, then
and if it's too long, because you got to take into consideration he's no spring chicken. If it's too long, they'll probably go with someone else.
He's only a few years older than me.
Damn, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think he's loving his wife, Rachel Weisz, too much. But I can't. I really. He seems like a really chilled guy. Really chilled guy. He's probably someone I would get on with. I'm quite the. I feel like I'm similar to him in some ways. As I've never really liked him as Bond. But I would say, do you know the one that was most Sean Connery like? What film was that? Skyfall. That's the best out of all the Bonds that I've liked him in.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
In fact, that's actually the best Bond film since GoldenEye, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
It feels like a Bond film, and he was just really good in it, and it's the only one that really felt like Bond.
It literally it had espionage in it.
Yeah. What did you think of Spectre?
It's forgettable.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's not a bad film. It's just not as good as the others. It's just this thing with Bond films, you get a couple of good ones, a couple of bad ones, a couple of good ones, a couple of bad ones. It's any franchise that's gone on that long. I mean, Star Trek must know this by now. Yeah, you get one good one, you get one bad one. You get one good one, get one bad one. And it is what it is, man.
That goes to the bonus round that wasn't there. Star Trek.
Oh, okay. What about it?
Should Quentin Tarantino direct the next one?
Of course, that's a stupid. Of course he should, and I don't care what Richard says. That if he's a fan of Star Trek, he should know that Tarantino's a bigger fan than he is. Richard doesn't make sense sometimes. I don't get that guy. Hey Richard, how you doing, mate? You're crazy for not wanting Tarantino to do Star Trek. You're absolutely insane. It would bring so much gravitas back to it.
You know what we need to do? We need to grab him on the podcast and have him talk about why.
Do we?
Yeah, we should. I actually think he'd be quite good on the podcast, to be quite honest.
If his argument's coherent, because he seems to be quite opposed by Tarantino wanting to do it, and that already is stupid. Everyone knows that Tarantino is one of the biggest Star Trek fans. So
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I mean, when this whole thing's over, get him in and do one. But I'm quite a casual fan of Star Trek. I do like the Patrick Stewart ones to a degree, but I really prefer the '60s ones. The one with Spock and Kirk.
I wasn't a fan of the movies, but the series was joke.
I love the movies as well. I don't like all of the movies. I even like the motion picture, the first one. It's slow, but I do like it. 1 to 4, it's just an extension of the series, which I do like. I just like the characters, the characters, especially in the TV series, man. Oh my gosh,
what's wrong with 5 and 6?
Undiscovered Country and I can't remember what the other one was. When it gets to Generations, that's where it hits quite a low, and then First Contact brings it back up again. First Contact's the new generation. the next generation. Generations when it merges the two. Yeah, they're not good after that. And it doesn't really get good again until J.J. Abrams is Star Trek. And so, yeah, take that as you will. A lot of people disagree with me, but J.J. Abrams did a good... He made it accessible. He made it quite accessible for people that don't like the older versions. Anyway,
did you watch Picard or?
Yeah, I'm watching it as it comes on.
Oh, okay. Is it not over or?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's good. It looks like there's some like legal stuff going on with Star Trek, which is why they had to do the Calvin timeline, which is what the J.J. Abrams film. I don't want to go too much into it, but there's some...
Oh, is it in J.J. Abrams' universe?
Yeah, so it's the same universe as the older one, but they had to do it because of legal reasons. He would have just gone and done a full Star Trek. He would have done a Star Trek that he wanted to do, but because there's some like dispute in terms of licensing or whatever, I'm not sure what the dispute is, but that doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon, which is why there's that timeline and then there's this timeline. Anyway, I don't.
Where's Picard set?
That's set in the Calvin universe. So it's. Did you ever see JJ's Star Trek?
Yeah.
So that whole event is what Picard is about.
Right. Okay.
When Spock did that thing to the sun, and you had what's his name? That Australian dude that was after him, Neuro.
So do they mention that in this show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's again. It's a. I don't know how interested you would be in watching that. It's quite fan orientated. It has a lot to do with the Borg as well. Do you know anything about the Borg?
What are they, like troll creatures or something?
No, it's an entity that assimilates anything that it comes across if it has any value in terms of culture, technology, or whatever. It's this one entity that just gets bigger and bigger.
Like, so I've got a reference.
Let me show you.
I've got the internet here. Let me
just put in the Borg. Put in the Borg Queen. If I'm wrong about any of this, folks, please let me know.
I'm always wrong about all of this.
No, I'm just talking because sometimes it's such a wide. There's so much in it.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, so the Borg is probably the biggest.
They're robots and stuff. Oh, there's that blonde girl. Yeah, I recognise her.
7 of 9. That's seven. Yeah. That's 7 of 9. She was in Star Trek Voyager, I believe.
Okay.
Star Trek Voyager I never watched, but I know she's from there. She was a Borg as well, and so was Patrick Stewart. He was assimilated by the Borg, which is what First Contact is about, the Borg.
Right. Okay.
That was their one attempt to assimilate Earth. No, that was their second attempt to assimilate Earth. They did it before in the past. So the Borg has been around since the 1400s in our time.
Right, okay.
They were like little amoebas, or they weren't even an actual thing. They weren't humanoid at the time. And then bit by bit, they started to accumulate knowledge, then technology, and then they're in this giant cube flying in space, just assimilating everything. So they're particularly hard to kill because if you kill one of them, they use that. Okay, this is how they've used a laser to try and kill me. Everyone else adapts to that, so you won't be able to use a laser in it again.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, it's an interesting character. I wouldn't even know if you could call it a character. It's a very interesting villain because you can't really kill it.
Okay, so it's kind of like Brainiac.
I don't know too much about Brainiac, but
you just described to me sounding like Brainiac. So
I don't know too much about Brainiac. But it's a hive system. She is a hive mind. So she can, whatever you see, she sees. So she can send you out to central London.
Right, okay, I see. So she has like agents, but she's like kind of possessed them and stuff, and
it's
kind of connected to them.
Yeah, they're essentially just drones. They can't talk, they can't interact with you, they can't do anything but do what she tells them. And if it assimilates you, you start to grow like these augmentations. So you just start to change. Your hair will fall off. You go grey, and you just become a hive mind. You're part of it. Anyway, yeah. So that's the Borg. How did we get to the Borg?
How did we get from Bonds to that?
Anyway. Nice tangent there. So I'm looking forward to Bond. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's it. That was it.
Okay, well, I think we should bring this to an end now, or very shortly, because we've gone over 2 hours.
Oh, man.
So
the podcast, really.
I guess that makes up for a year and a half, or nearly 2 years worth of content. I'm sure there'll be more news as it goes. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or
no,
scratches the surface?
Good.
This was good to get back into the thick of it. I haven't talked about film this extensively in a while, so it's been good. It's been good to catch up and do this again. I guess I don't know when we'll do it again. Maybe try to do it every week, or maybe twice a week. Maybe if we're doing it in this format, we can do it more than once. I leave that. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. We'll see how it goes, man.
Let's not make promises.
Say again.
Let's not make promises. Let's try and keep to our word.
Yeah. This is what I mean. Let's see how it goes. All right. On that note, I'll end the podcast. Thanks, Sach. Do you have anything you want to plug?
No. Not today. Maybe next time.
Okay. All right then. Well, on that note, stay safe, everyone. I hope this thing is over sooner than it is. I hope it's over soon. And take care, Sach. Thanks for this, and adios.